Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.19. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is explaining yet another Vibhuti which sounds quite miraculous, but as always has a particular system and a way of achieving it. Now, of course, this is not the aim of yoga. This is just a byproduct and an ability that arises through the concentration and practice of Sanyam. But we're going to take a look at this sutra, start understanding it step by step, break up each of the words, and try to see what the sutra is communicating to us. The sutra itself goes Pratyayasya Parachitta Jnanam. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. Now let's start understanding each of the different words that are mentioned in the sutra and start seeing what exactly do they mean. So the first word here is pratyaya. Pratyaya refers to the content of the chitta. This is a word that has come up quite a few times in the sutra so far, and so that's what it indicates, the basic content of the chitta or the pratyaya. Then coming to the next word, there is the word para. Now this essentially refers to the other, also indicates the word paraya, which means something else, somebody else, the other. And then comes the word chitta, which as we've understood is consciousness, but in this particular sutra, it's usually translated to mean specifically the mind. So the consciousness is the larger expanse and the mind is sort of one element of it. But in this sutra, we're concerned primarily with the mind. And then of course, we come to the last word, which is gyan or jyan, which means knowledge. So these are all the words together. Now let's see overall what is the sutra trying to say. So the sutra is saying that by performing sanyam on the content of one's own mind or one's own chitta, one is able to gain the understanding and the complete knowledge of another person's mind or chitta as well. So this is the basic, translation of the sutra. But now let's take a look and start understanding what exactly does this mean? Is it really possible? And are people reading our minds? Or what does this even mean? Alright, so definitely through this sutra, it might sound like this is some type of mind reading or the ability to see or hear another person's thoughts. And yes, through what the sutra defines, it seems that the yoga sadhak develops such an ability. And the reason is because he or she is concentrating upon their own mind and chitta first. So what they're doing is they're taking the process of sanyam, which means dharana, dhyana and samadhi. They're applying it entirely or completely to their own mind. So such a deep level of concentration and state of oneness. And because they're doing that, and especially if they have the objective that they want to do sanyam so that they can hear or understand the thoughts of another person, especially if they have that intention, then the mind will start clearing itself out of any of its own thought waves, of any of its own impressions, and it'll make space to kind of reflect, or as a mirror, just reflect what the image or the thought process is in another person's mind. And then it's almost again like watching a movie in your mind when you're sitting really still. And this may have you may have experienced this. There are a lot of exercises to explain this when people are deeply connected. And if you're sitting together, you can, this is an exercise that is done very often. And you ask one of the partners to create an image in their mind. And you ask the other partner or person to just sit there, concentrate on their own mind and let that image appear. In some instances, it's actually seen that people can actually tell you exactly what that person was thinking of because they can see that image in their own mind. So now the mind develops the power of a sort of mirror and literally becomes a reflector of the image and the information in the other person's chitta. And so it reaches their own mind space and they're able to kind of, gain that access to that information. Now, let's be very clear, this is something that takes, years of practice. I say this in every video, but it takes many years of practice, dedication, consistency. It's not at all easy for just any one of us practicing yoga to be able to do this. I myself obviously am not able to do any of these vibhutis, but I'm just trying to communicate what the sutra is saying. And I personally feel that it's really incredible, right? It's really inspiring. But as Muni Patanjali has pointed out, these vibhutis are byproducts. These abilities are byproducts of the process of meditation and trying to go so deep as to reach the Kaivalya stage of, Chittavritti Nirodha and complete Nirbija Samadhi. So these are all byproducts. It's not that we need to get entangled or we need to think, perfect, fantastic, I'm going to make a career out of this and just, keep reading other people's minds. Of course, some people, like say psychics or others who are able to do it, using it for the universal welfare of people, that is amazing. But if we can only use it for our personal gain or benefit, then that could be quite detrimental, and that's not what the sutras are prescribing at all. They're in fact suggesting that you become aware of these powers that you're developing, right? Because it's not that they want you to not have awareness. They want you to become aware, but then also kind of keep going forward without getting entangled in these powers and mesmerized by them too much. Alright, although it would be challenging. Imagine if you were able to kind of read other people's minds. Can you imagine how challenging it would be not to use that for your personal gain or benefit, right? But even then, we just kind of have to keep moving forward, look at these vibhutis for what they are, gain the awareness of them, gain the understanding of the process, and then just move forward from there. So this is Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.19, through which we understood how one develops the vibhuti to actually read or understand the contents of another person's chitta or mind. So I hope you've been able to grasp this concept through this video and it's been informative and helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please do leave your comments and suggestions and questions in the comments box below. We look forward to hearing from you. And also don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family, especially those studying the Yoga Sutras or yoga philosophy. We look forward now to seeing you in the next video or in our next class or workshop. And until then, take care, keep practicing, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Namaste.